Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. I hope you ate a lot of food and got to see friends and relatives, had some time relaxing, and also some fun times too. So, here we are at week 16. We're ready to get back to work. Let's take a look at the learning guide first. So, obviously, this video will be right here, and you'll need to finish this first. You will have to look at the learning guide, submit the colonialism quiz, submit the activities on lesson 2 colonialism, and that has multiple parts you're going to see in a minute, and then complete the 8-part slide for CNN 10 this week. Okay, let's take a look and see what that looks like. All right, on Monday, you'll be doing this video. And again, I hope you get this done before our meeting. If you don't, I'll send you off to do that during our meeting. This quizzes has a video, and it's going to be a really good introduction to what colonialism is and also the slave trade. And that's going to come up in lesson 22. So, this is going to give you a lot of background information. We are going to have our class meeting at 2 o'clock, and we will meet on Google Meet as usual. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you are going to, and Friday, you're going to do parts of lesson 22, and I'll go over all of those with you. And on Friday, you're also going to do the CNN 10, which is a Google slide this time. It's an 8 parts. Thursday, we will have our meeting at 2 o'clock, and that will be, again, more for answering questions and technical difficulties. Okay, so starting with the colonialism quiz, the first question is going to be the video that you're going to watch. Make sure you watch the entire video. It is only 7 minutes. And then you have the questions to answer. Make sure that you get 80%. Keep taking that until you get 80%. Then you are going to start on lesson 22. And this is a little bit different because you are not going to be doing all of the sections here. Instead, if we go back to the learning guide, you are going to be doing a couple of the explore. They're in the same place. I'll show you where they are. Here are the titles that you need to do. So you'll do those first, and then you'll do section 3 and section 4. So again, once this opens up, you're going to come over here, and if you scroll down past the lesson summary, here's where you'll see the explores, and you're doing 2 of them. You're doing the explore that is colonialism during 1450 to 1750, and you are doing explore the trade of enslaved people. Then, if we look back at our learning guide, you are also doing section 3 and section 4. So, you are not going to be doing section 1 or 2. You're going to start with section 3 and section 4. So, let's start with the introduction. Since you're not going to be reading the introduction, you are going to get some background information on this from that quizzes that you're going to do on Monday. But let's read over this introduction together. The age of exploration. Our guiding question is, how did the age of exploration change the way Europeans viewed the world? The age of exploration was a period of discovery that lasted from about 1418 to 1620 CE. So it's a little over 200 years. During this time, European explorers made numerous daring voyages that impacted the world. A major reason for these voyages was the desire to discover ocean routes to East Asia, which the Europeans called the Indies. When Christopher Columbus sailed west across the Atlantic Ocean, he was looking for such a route. Although he thought he had reached the Indies, Columbus had actually reached the Americas. Eventually, Europeans would realize that Columbus had found what they called the New World, and the Indies in the Atlantic became the West Indies. European nations soon rushed to conquer lands in the Americas and everywhere. You have to remember that when they took off, um, times were really different. We didn't have satellites, We didn't have pictures. We did not have planes to go someplace. So if you were in Europe and you happened to be in coastal Europe, somewhere at the coast where you could see the ocean, all you could see is ocean. You would look out. You did not know what was out there beyond that ocean, if anything. So these explorers were just getting in ships and going into the ocean and hoping to find something at the end of a journey. Early explorers often experienced hardships during their travels. In 1520, Ferdinand Magellan departed South America with 3 ships to cross the Pacific Ocean. He had guessed correctly that Asia was located west of South America. However, Magellan was unaware of how vast or how huge the Pacific Ocean was. He thought his crew would sail for several weeks at most, but the crossing lasted 3 months. That's a huge difference. If you pack supplies on a ship for what you think is going to be a few weeks and you end up at 3 months, do you think you're going to have enough supplies to last that journey? While the ships were still at sea, the crew ran out of food, nearly starving to death. One sailor wrote about the terrible time. We ate biscuit, swarming with worms. We drank yellow water that had been putrid, which is rotten, for days, and often we ate sawdust from the boards. Why did explorers brave such dangers? In this lesson, you will discover some of the reasons for the age of exploration. You will learn about the voyages of explorers from Portugal, Spain, and other European countries. You will also learn how the age of exploration changed the way people viewed the world. So think of the age of exploration. The only thing really that I can think of to compare it to today is space. We know that there are some things in space that we can see, right? And we have sent out different things out into space and found other things that we were not able to see with our naked eye. But we also believe that there are lots of things out there in the vastness of space that we don't know about, that we have never seen. So, what makes us want to go and explore space? And what might we find when we go out there? That is what the age of exploration was like. Okay, let's take a look at what you are going to read and do now on your own. You are going to do the explorers. You're going to read about colonialism, again, from 1450 to 1750. So this is a period of 300 years. So read this. Remember, you can have it read to you, and then be sure to answer the questions. Now, look at these questions carefully. Be sure you answer all of the questions or all parts. So, right here, I can see there's 2 questions for number 1. I should see 2 answers. There are 2 questions for number 3. There are 2 questions for number 5. So, again, look carefully at the questions. You are also going to read the explore about the trade of enslaved people. It's getting a little bit loud. I don't know if you can hear that. It's passing periods here. So just try and ignore that. So you're going to read this. Again, you can have it read to you, and you are going to complete the questions. 1, 2 questions for number 1. There are 2 questions for number 2. There are 2 questions for number 4. And 2 questions for number 5. Okay? And then you are going to do section 3. Okay? Read or have it read to you. Complete the check for understanding. Check your answers until you get it right. For number 1, you are going to write on the map. So again, you're going to use the tools up here and you're going to follow the directions and write on the map. So you need to label the routes with the last name of the explorer and dates of the expedition. So Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Magellan. So you should have two routes on here drawn, labeled, one with Columbus, one with Magellan. You're going to complete these sentences. And for number 3, list the various effects of early Spanish exploration. Your list should include at least 5. So they've included 1 for you. You need 5 more. All right, let's take a look at section 4. Okay, read or have it read to you. And then you are going to do the check for understanding. Check your answers, reset it, try it till you get it right. And again, here's another map. You're going to draw the routes of Hernan Cortez and Francisco Pizarro. You're going to again label the routes with the last name of the explorer and the dates. So just like the last one, 2 routes labeled. Each one will have a different last name, so 2 last names and 2 dates when they were. More complete the following sentences. And again, list the effects of Spanish exploration, 5 different effects, and there is one that has been done for you. All right, so that is what you are going to do with lesson 22. The last thing you're going to do is the CNN 10. You're going to watch it in the assignment, and then you're going to complete the 8 parts. All right, so you're going to write a title. So this is like the main idea, but it's going to be like a question. Think about in our lesson that we read on section 4, when we were in the introduction, think about this question. It is answered in our reading. So, what question was answered in the story? As many names as were in the story? As many times that it occurred? 2 important details about what happened, why it happened, and a 3-word summary. This is only 3 words. Baby is born. Shuttle takes off. Okay, just take this story and put it down in 3 words. And then here you need 3 sentences that explain the story. If somebody had not seen the story, here are your 3 sentences explaining what it was about. All right, for your extra credit question, I don't know. Just send me an email and tell me an interesting fact about yourself. One interesting fact about me is I once had a job working in a jewelry store, and I am a certified gemologist. So I used to have one of those loops, those little things that you put up at your eye, and you look at gemstones and you can tell information about the quality of the gemstone. So there's one interesting fact about me. Before Saturday, send me an email and tell me one interesting fact about you. Now, be sure that you answer the question that's written in this assignment. It's going to be written in red. That is the question that you need to answer in the text box and submit to get your points for this. All right. I will see you later on today at our meeting, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.